everybody, Jen Smith from Smith Country, and today we're going to be talking crochet borders around washcloths. The one we're going to do today is the border for the super soft baby washcloth. The pattern is free on my blog, and you can get a PDF version for about $3 on my blog, or on my shop, sorry. If you get the one on my shop, it also comes with tags. So if you're somebody that makes these things and sells them, you can sell them and they'll look nice and professional. So as on my blog, you can of course just simply knit this off, but I do a crochet border on it. I'm changing up a little bit on you guys. My pattern on the site has you using a larger hook than your knitting needles. Because I'm using Peaches and Cream Stripey. I was going gender neutral. This is a baby gift actually. And I wanted something that was just kind of fun, sort of beachy theme. So I went with this coloring, but because of the way this yarn works, I found the smaller hook actually makes it a little bit tighter and makes it look a little bit nicer. If you use the yarn that I suggest on my blog, going the bigger size is actually a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to deal with, and it does look just as nice. So I have 4.5 millimeter knitting needles that I use to make this one because I wanted it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going down to a 4 millimeter crochet hook. So the way we start this, if you watch any of my other videos, they all kind of start the same. The first thing we do is we hook off the first loop. And this is, imagine this like the bottom crochet row, and you're going to chain one just like you would in crochet. Go back into that loop. Oops. Keep your loop on your hook. Go back around, yarn over, pull through that loop again, yarn over, pull through both loops, and you now have a single crochet. Okay, and we're going to do that again. So we're going to yarn over, loop through, yarn over, loop through both, single crochet. All right, and we are going to do this all the way to the end. And this gives us a nice starting point. You can't just simply knit, cast off and then start the crochet process. I found as I was doing more and more of these washcloths that I found it easier to simply crochet off and then continue around and make this my first part of my crochet border. But you don't have to. You could just crochet all the way around if you wanted to. So we're gonna keep going all the way down. Oops. See, even I lose a crochet stitch here and there. On the plus side, this is cotton, so it's nice and stiff, and you usually don't lose what you're doing. And we're gonna go all the way around. And almost there. Okay. So now that we're getting close to the end, I'll slow down a little bit and show you again how to do this. So you're going to, you have your single crochets are going down. You're going to insert your hook into the loop on the needle. You're going to yarn over and pull it through the knitted loop. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Yarn, hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. If you haven't noticed yet, I do this, I do like to merge a lot of crochet and knit together. So you see this a lot. I have different versions of how I do this. I also did something similar, but with buttonholes at the end for a knitted cup sweater that I have also on my blog. And I do this a lot. I use it on hats, gloves. I like some knitted textures. I mean, you can do, this is a moss stitch. You can do this stitch in crochet, but it's different. The texture is a little different when you do it in knit. And so I like to sometimes change it up a little bit. All right, so now we're at the end. Last single crochet. Now in that same loop that we just did that, we're gonna do 1 and 2. So now we have 3, that's a corner, okay? And then we're gonna go down. You just want these to be as even as you can possibly make it and not make it too long or too short. So we're just gonna single crochet all the way around. Okay. I kind of eyeball it. I'm never exact, to be honest. As long as it's, you know, even. Oops. See, even. I lose it sometimes. I just try to get a good idea of, on the side it's a little bit more difficult because there's not exact stitches. So you just kind of have to go with it and see what's gonna work and not make a huge gap. Because the other thing is, this is a baby washcloth. Is the baby probably gonna be playing with the washcloth? Probably not. But at the same time, I do like to think about little fingers. And if I was to crochet, for example, into this loop right here, it's a bigger loop. And tiny fingers, like my pinky, see, can get in there. And baby fingers are even smaller than my pinky. So I try to be conscientious of that. Having 5 kids has made me definitely realize the importance of realizing some things are just too small. Okay, so now we're here. This is where we're gonna start our crochet for this row. So we're actually going to do 3 single crochets in that corner. 1, 2, 3, okay? And now we're gonna go down around the edge. In case you haven't noticed, I like to crochet in my ends. I'm not a huge fan of waiting to the end and weaving in, so I don't generally tend to do that. This spot is a little tighter. This is the other reason, so this was from my cast on, and this is part of the other reason I like to do it this way. Or I like to use the smaller hook in this particular case because this cotton yarn is not quite as forgiving as the Premier cotton yarn. That one has a nice stretch to it. It's so soft. Whereas the Peaches and Cream is a little stiffer, and so it tends to not be as forgiving, which can be nice. But when I'm trying to fit my crochet hook in the loops, it makes it a little harder. Okay. And then, just make sure I can pull on that a little bit. Yep. Okay. And now we are at this corner. So in this loop right here in the corner, we're going to go back and go 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to, see that? Now I'm going to go all the way over here to the end. Now we already crocheted this. This is how we cast it off. So when I get to here, I'm going to be completely around the entire washcloth. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and when I come back, we'll go ahead and finish off this corner and then get started on the second round. Okay, so we're at the end, and see this loop that we had started the knit off? We're going to go back in that one, and we're going to do 2 loops. Now, I want to make one quick comment about this. I'm going a little rogue from my pattern. Sorry, you're going to slip stitch in that one, chain 1. Okay, I'm going a little rogue on the pattern. The pattern says to single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Because my particular, this is a gift I'm making, and because this washcloth is so large, the first round I did not do the chain, but under normal circumstances, you would do the chain. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that at the beginning. So where the chain is, we're going to single crochet, okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could forego the slip stitch in the chain. If you wanted to just do a continuous round, totally fine. I like to do it this way just because of, I'm gonna end with a chain 2 in this round. So I wanted to make sure that, oops, I knew that. I'm getting a little crazy here with my hook, sorry. And I'm like way off the camera. Sorry, everyone. All right, let's see. So we're gonna single crochet all the way down. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Now we're almost to that corner. So see where I did the 3? Now in your pattern right here, this third one is going to be a chain. So pretend that's a chain 2. So we're gonna single crochet. Now in this one, if this was yours, you'd have a chain 2. You're going to single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet, and then single crochet down. And so we're going to repeat that all the way around to the end. When I get back, we're going to do this corner right here. So I'm here, I'm going to go all the way around, and then when I get back, we'll be here. Okay, we are at the end. See how we did these last 2? See this guy? This would normally be your chain 2, so pretend it's your chain 2. So we are going to go 1, 2 chains, 1 more, and then we are going to slip stitch that bad boy right in there. Okay, so chain that. We're gonna go all the way around again one more time, and that will be the border. When I'm done, as you can see, it's kind of curling a little bit. When I'm done, I'm going to block this, and then it'll be ready to give to a brand new baby coming into the world. So feel free to leave any questions that you have on the comments, or you can always email me if you click on my blog. Thanks so much.